So you've had your colonic unit for how many years?
Gosh, 6 maybe?
More than that.
More than 6.
Yeah, because you were one of my first clients,
Oh my.
and I've been there 12 years.
Wow.
So I'd say it's more like 8 or 9.
Okay.
Okay, so how many colonics over the course of, let's say, the last 8 years have you been pretty consistent giving yourself colonics?
Yes. I generally give myself 1 to 2 a week.
Mm-hmm.
I can't calculate how many that is.
Well, I remember at one point I think you'd done 500.
Absolutely have done that many.
Because you called and said that you had white coming out in the tubing. Pure white. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
And it was coming out like milk?
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then another time I hit another plateau when it was black.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that was actually a little bit scary, but, you know, I realized, because it looked like tar, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And I just figured that I'd really gotten to the root of something very good for myself to start healing in a whole different way.
Mm-hmm. Did you feel differently after those different colors were coming out?
I did. You know, there's a lightness that comes that I've really noticed that helps to just be more present, you know, and I just feel that energetically I have more available to myself. Yeah, so it's good.
And I think you had some sort of specific illnesses prior to you getting your unit, and I think those have dissipated quite a bit, haven't they?
Well, yes. I mean, I had pneumonia continually. I mean, like, I'd get it, and then I'd get it again and again. And I was near death, and it was gray, and everything about me was weak, and I didn't want to live anymore because I was just too sick.
Mm-hmm.
And so my breathing has improved, and I haven't had pneumonia since then, since I've started doing colonics, really.
Wow.
And I very seldom ever get ill.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get colds or anything like that. And I feel transformed. My color is different. My energy is incredible. My husband has a nickname for me called Little B, you know, because he just sees me busy all the time and moving, and I'm just very proactive in my world.
Mm-hmm. And so that's supportive of that.
Absolutely. I mean, I love being active and feeling my life essence, you know, and I didn't feel that before when I was sick.
Okay.
So this is a direct result of that.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's pretty profound.
It is profound.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Huh.
I would recommend everyone having a colonic unit in their house, you know. I think our diets of foods that we're buying, they're so depleted in nutrients anymore, and that we're not getting what we need to sustain our lives as good as we were at one point years and years ago. So I think it's real difficult to have balanced body, mind, and spirit all in the going and running to support us with our health.
Right. And therefore what happens is people get plugged up and they don't really even know it.
Exactly. They
And it's
get
sort of a
used to
slow
it.
decline.
Exactly. It starts eroding the internal organs and our minds, and it slows down the thinking processes, and it just affects everything. Colonics is about just irrigating the bowel with water.
Yeah.
And there's no way that you could damage anything, I mean, with water. And you're not putting anything sharp inside of you or hurting yourself in any way. I mean, to me, everything starts in the bowels.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that goes on with us.
Mm-hmm.
And that if we cleanse, unless it would be an eye problem.
Yeah.
You know,
well, even then.
well, probably would help some.
Yeah.
But I just think that it's about cleansing.
Mm-hmm.
And the more cleansing we do, the cleaner and healthier we'll be. I just think that it's very essential that we keep our systems open and flushing clearly.
Mm-hmm. What would you say to someone who said that you become addicted to it?
That's absolutely insane. say that is you're out of control.
Yeah.
I have bowel movements every day.
Right.
I don't do colonics every day.
Right.
I don't need to do colonics every day, but when I have a sense that that's important that I do it. Like
Yeah.
I've been gone for a week and I'm like, it has to happen today.
Yeah.
And then, but my husband was needing care, so I
Yes.
had to put mine off. And it's like, okay, now, it's
Yeah.
going to happen. But I'm still going to the bathroom,
Right.
But somehow or other, no matter how much you go, there's always more to get with a colonic.
Right.
And it happens every time.
Right. So there's like fecal matter. People could say, well, there's always, like you said, there's always going to be fecal matter in there.
Yes.
But when you're getting pure white or pure black, that's not something you just ate recently.
No, that's old, ancient history.
And so even with cleansing that part of it out, then your body wants to tend to hold on, is what I think. So that's why even after you've been doing colonics for 1, 2, 3 times per week for 8 years, you're still going to give yourself a colonic even though you've cleaned out a lot of the basic sludge. Your body still wants to hold on, it seems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And every day is a different day. And you're eating foods that are different, and you're doing different combinations, and you're doing different supplements, and you're having different emotional issues.
Right.
And you're, fighting with your children, or you're stressed about the traffic, or whatever.
Yeah.
But all of those things contribute to changes in the bowels and what happens there. So, and of course we create little pockets in there that store things, information and sludge and, lots of things are stored there. So I think that, gas will stop the flow of things happening as well. So you have to be sure that all that stuff is out of the way in order for that old to come through. And it doesn't just come from the bowel, but it's pulled through other organs as well. I mean, once you empty out the bowel, this has been what I'm thinking now. I don't know that I'm absolutely right about this.
I think you are.
But once that is gone, then it gives the body an opportunity to open up and empty out from other places, not just the bowel.
Right. Like the liver.
Yes, the gallbladder. I mean, even the heart, And there's cells rebuilding all the time. And so they're sloughing off. And water is an incredible vehicle for things to pass through.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty much sold on colonics.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been the best money I have ever spent. I guess, including the scope and all that, I probably have, way less than $2,000 in the whole thing.
Right.
So
if you've done 1,000 colonics, which you very likely have, that's $2 a colonic. Really, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to, because I was so sold on the process that I couldn't afford to keep doing it at
$60
or 70, or some people charge way more than that. Some people charge $100.
Yeah.
And it's just, to me, it's like it's something I can do as part of my self-care routine.
Right.
And I love that.
And it doesn't take very much time.
No, I mean, start to stern, it's like an hour. Really, I never need to stay more than 45 minutes with the unit, and then the cleanup is another 15 minutes.
Right. So an hour or two a week to get rid of the whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't necessarily put a direct correlation to say you weren't well, you started doing colonics, you haven't been sick. I mean, technically you can't say that colonics is a cure, but it certainly, there certainly is a definite before I had the unit in my life and then after I had the unit in my life. So what I'm saying is 1 or 2 additional hours per week to get that kind of result.
It's pretty profound.
Yeah.
The thing is I was doing other alternative forms of healing as well.
Yeah.
Metaphysical work. I was working with other types of healing with my body, with homeopathics and with different diets and all kinds of things. And it didn't touch it.
Right.
I mean, I would get a little better, and I saw myself progressing, But there was a marked difference with colonics. It was like almost black and white.
Yeah.
There was a turning point, and I felt release going on. There was a shift in my consciousness because I was able to think more clearly, to tell you the truth, because I'm truly, because I wasn't dealing and focusing so much on the internal stuff that was jamming me up and creating the sickness in the first place.
So what you're saying is you were doing a lot of things for your health that were really should be profound and extraordinary, but what you found was the colonic was a real point of leverage for you to make progress that you couldn't make otherwise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. It was a whole nother aspect of health that I'd never experienced before.
And it's almost accidental. You almost can't really appreciate it until you start to do it.
Exactly.
You can think about it, you can talk about it, but when you do it,
yeah, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
And I went to other hygienists before I came to you. But there was never, I didn't understand through them, it's like they were interested in doing it and they would get their money.
Yeah.
But there wasn't an educational process that went along with that. And I think with you, I started to really put everything together and it made sense.
Yeah.
I felt enough goodness in my body after doing it with those other people that I knew I wanted to continue, but I had to find someone that could work with my mind as well and help me to integrate the information so that then my body could absorb that and start to really heal. So that was another aspect that was important. Just the understanding of what was happening.
Okay. And so you got that through working with me?
I did.
I like that.
Yeah, that was very nice. I didn't know that. I'd never told you that. But yeah, it was really profound experience starting to work with you.
Thank you for sharing.
Absolutely. I'm glad to.